Hello everyone and welcome! Today I'm going to go back to Xplane 11 and also back to a plane that I haven't flown in ages. This is the SSG E-195 and I also flew the E-170, did a video with that one and that went very well. And right now this plane is in version 1.4 which came out I think in January, so quite a while ago, and I don't think it's fully Vulcan compatible with Xplane version 11.50. But it will be quite an interesting flight to see if we can manage to bring this plane to Köln in Germany here from Hamburg. And I also use the Ftsim sounds, FMOD sounds for this plane, so at least we have that going. And like I said, I haven't flown this plane in ages, so we'll see how it will go. Okay, so herzlich willkommen hier aus dem Cockpit von der Lufthansa Embraer 195. Wir fliegen heute nach Köln hier von Hamburg. So right here we are in the cockpit and this autogate is penetrating completely in the whole cockpit, so might have to get rid of it. But anyway, let's get this plane ready. Battery 1 and battery 2 to auto. And nav lights on. And now we can hear the wonderful FMOD sounds. And GPU connect. It takes a little while until the airplane is fully functional. Yeah, let's get those messages cancelled or the warning sounds, and let's get the 80s first. Radio frequency. Actually, I had a question previously, or a comment, because of the radio of these SSG Embraers. It has quite a peculiar tuning method. So we have to put 12432 right there. Instead of the 6-digit radio frequency, we have to use 5 digits, leaving the last one off and without the point or dot. So 11800, there we go, at COM2, but we still have the 12432, which is the local 80s, and now we can also listen to COM2. Yeah, that was one question, that we can use both of these COM1 and COM2 frequencies. And departure runway is 15, although we have winds at 210 at 10. So we're going to use runway 23. It's much better. And it is also what I got in the flight plan, so that's what we're going to do today. Yeah, I don't know why Xplane's giving runway 15 to me right now, but anyway. Still waiting for the PFD, and there it is. So now I can set the local barometric pressure. And actually let's just get rid of the autogate. There it goes. Actually, is the parking brake correctly on? Yep. And here we go, what else can we do at this point? Passenger signs, oops, emergency lights armed, fasten seatbelt on. And we can go here and set the FMC. Yep, we have the active ARAC data. And low GPS position. And what I'm going to do is what the manual also recommends, to reset the FMGC. So, once again, GPS nav position loaded. And we are going to go from Hamburg to Köln. Really short flight. All in all, with the cold and dark procedure, we should be landing within 1 hour in Köln. And we're going to depart runway 23 with the IDECO standard instrument departure. Let me just get my iPad quickly. Yeah, IDEC 6B with the IDECO transition. And route, go to the next page, and then put the flight plan quickly in. Yeah, so far so good, so no issues with the nav data. Recently updated it with the latest Navigraph data, so it should be working just fine. And then put the flight plan in quickly. Alright, back to the nav page and arrival. So we're going to land on ILS runway 24. There we go, with the Copa 2C to Charlie. With the Copac transition, there we go, activated. And let's check the flight plan. Is everything lining up correctly? Yes, we have one discontinuity. Let's clear it up and activate it. So I think I'm going to have to get rid of the COL waypoint right there. It should be a pretty smooth, straight in approach. So let's check out the plan mode. Yeah, there it is. So I can get rid of the COL waypoint right there, which would bring me completely straight into runway 24. I've done this approach a couple of times, so yeah, I'll just get rid of that one. And there we go, activate it. And let's see how it looks. And that's it. And looking much better there, so back to map mode. And what else should we do here? The Honeywell CDU. Go to the performance page. Actually, first we have to completely load the aircraft. So options page 2. And set the payload. Also match the zero fuel weight and fuel the aircraft. I think in this case we have to defuel the aircraft a little bit. So let's check out the flight plan. So zero fuel weight should be 40.5, payload 11.2. Yeah, let's set payload to 11.2. And zero fuel weight 40.2. Close enough. Yeah, there will be always some discrepancies between the SimBrief flight plan and also the what we have here in Xplane 11, but I'm going to try to match them as close as we can. And manual fuel is going to be 4.4 exactly. And in this case we have to defuel the aircraft. And we have to keep an eye on the CG Mach aerodynamic chord percentage. Yeah, 13 is still in the zone, so it should be okay. And now we get the fuel quantity. Yeah, it's calculated with the full trip, then 15-minute contingency, plus enough for the alternate, and then final reserve. Yeah, for the trip to Cologne, we only need 1339 or 1339 kilograms. But anyway, so performance climb looks good. Takeoff, runway heading 227. I think right now we have wet conditions. So let's change it to wet conditions, which means no thrust limit. So we're going to use TO1. And there should be a... Yep, there we go. Flaps 2, standard. Well, we can also use flaps 1 or flaps 4. And we have the takeoff speeds, but first we need the takeoff weights. Should be somewhere here. Oh yeah. What I need first is the cruising altitude. According to SimBrief, it's going to be 32,000 feet, although I might have to change it a little bit. I think around 29,000 feet should be more sensible for this short flight, Kurztrip. Okay, so land or takeoff speeds. Open up the quick reference handbook PDF that comes with this plane. And where are my weights? Also should be somewhere here in the performance page. Data. Yep, zero fuel weight and gross weight 44.6. Yeah, let's go with 45. Round it up and get those takeoff speeds V1, VR, V2 and VFS. Unable cruise altitude. Maybe I'm going to have to modify the cruise altitude later on. Take a look quickly at the quick reference handbook. So V1 139, VR 140 and V2 I think it's 142 and VFS should be 198 according to the chart right there. Is it correct? Yep, 198. Alright, let's try to modify. Maybe 1 or 310 is much better. I don't think we can fully make it to 31,000 feet with these current climb settings. Yeah, unable. Alright, let's go with something more. Oops. Yeah, let's try 270, should be much better. Yeah, it's looking much better, so... a really short flight, so maybe with an A320 we should be able to go up to 310. Yeah, by the way, I'm playing fast and loose with the flight plan right now. It's not 100% realistic, but anyway, with this plane I don't really have the FCOM and also professional resources and how to fly this plane correctly, so I'm going to have to use a little bit of improvise, adapt and overcome approach. So heading, set the magnetic runway heading. Yep, 227 right there and on the PFD. And what else? Speed, set 198. Right now it's at 200, but set 198. There we go. And speed is on manual. Later we're going to have to set it to FMS. And what else can be set? Target altitude. And let's go with the initial transition altitude, which is 5000 here in Hamburg or in Germany. And I think we are pretty much configured for pushback and engine start. So red beacon lights on. And I think I should start the APU quick soon. Oh yeah, there we go. And APU should be starting up, although I don't hear anything, and click once on the steering. So nose wheel steering is enabled and APU is starting, although I don't hear anything. So maybe in this version of the FMOD sound pack there are no APU sounds. So let's just use the built-in pushback. Parking brakes off. APU should be up and running. GPU is still connected, so we have to get rid of the GPU. Yeah, I think when the light is not illuminated right there, then the APU is already powering the airplane, and here we go. Engage. And should we go forward? Oops, no. Yeah, we have to go aft. I thought forward would be from the point of view of the pushback truck. And soon we can start the engines. I'm just going to push back right there. Straight up, and from there on going to taxi to runway 23 and start engine number 1. And we have some precipitation here, a little bit windy and rainy, so this is why we get that smoke right there, or I think it's, in this case, is water vapor. Not looking too great right now, but anyway. At this point, I take Xplane 11 over the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, with regards of the visuals, FS 2020 is much better, but airplane complexity, not yet. Although this plane might be the exception. Alright, parking brake on. And stop right here. And we can start engine number 2. Meanwhile, everything is crashing into me. I guess we should be putting that electric pump A to auto. Yeah, like I said, I haven't flown this plane for a while. But as long as we land safely in Köln, I'm happy. And that nose wheel does not look too good. 90-degree angle, probably because the steering is off. But anyway, we have engine start 1 and 2. There's a 747-400 right there, and what else? Engines are up and running. Okay, so taxi lights. And we can now taxi to runway 23. Strobe lights not just yet. And the APU is on. Actually, I think we can switch off APU. We got good engine start on 1 and 2, so engine generators are supplying power. And flaps 2. Yeah, I think this smoke should represent the wet runway or wet conditions here at the airport. Now, but anyway, let's click on the nose wheel steering. Should straighten the nose wheel out. And parking brake off. Yep, that looks much better. And we can slowly taxi to runway 23. A couple of guys waiting for the turn. And what's going on here? What's this madness? Look at that guy. Got embedded in the truck right there. Good old Xplane 11. So slowly turning around, crashing into Austin's vegan food. And let's arm the auto thrust. Before takeoff, you also should engage the toga button, which is hidden here on the SSG E-195. I don't like these textures at all with these smoking engines, but not too bad. So let's go ahead and taxi. There is runway 23 up ahead. Just have to line up with the runway. Oops, that's not the correct. Yeah, it's just helipad. Oh, and we are veering to the left. Actually, I'm not sure which taxiway we should use, but this one looks that is the correct one. So the smoke does not mean that our engines are burning or we have anything here, mechanical problems. In the meantime, we can switch landing lights on. Yeah, it just means that we have wet runway conditions and precipitation here at the airport. And there is the hidden toga button. Should keep that in mind. And runway 23, taxi lights off. And auto brakes to RTO. And should we go to FMS speed reference for the auto thrust? I'm not sure about that. I think I should leave it to manual for takeoff. If I can switch it back on to manual. Should go with the 198 VFS. And not much going on here in Hamburg. Quiet Sunday afternoon. Yeah, auto brakes got set back to off, but RTO back, strobe lights on. And lining up nice and slow. Meanwhile, set up the view for takeoff. It looks a bit better. And here we go, we can set takeoff thrust with the stabilization step. Try to stay on the center line. And there we go. Oh, auto thrust should be engaged. Oh, I forgot to switch the toggle button that I've talked about a lot.
80 knots.
And there we go, takeoff thrust set, 80 knots. Staying on the center line.
V1, VR, V2.
V1, VR, V2. Rotate. It's a little bit sluggish, and for some reason we got the landing rate plug-in and positive rate gear up. Let's get that 11 degrees pitch up for takeoff. And set speed ref to FMS. Engage autopilot. And there we go, LNAV. Autopilot auto thrust is engaged. Let's make sure we have VNAV as well. There we go. Slowly get the flaps up. A little bit rainy here, overcast. But we're on our way to Köln. Alright, transition altitude will be 5,000 feet. And flying over the harbor district. Couple of cruise ships there. Then we need to go here, flight level 270, or cruising altitude, although we will not be spending too much time there. There is the top climb point already. Actually, let's try to get rid of all these annoying symbols. And I forgot a couple of things. Mainly the TO config button, similar to an Airbus A320 or Airbus basically. Before takeoff I forgot to push the TO config button. And also the transponder. But anyway, there's the Airbus factory here in Hamburg, Finkenwerder. And we are climbing towards our destination, flight level 270. there is the top descent point as well. And we are flying through some clouds here. Rainy Sunday afternoon. No, but anyway. Decrease the range. Soon we are turning to the left. $10,000 feet coming up. Alright, our first left turn is coming up and also 10,000 feet, so we get to switch off the landing lights and also the sterile cockpit environment. And also we have to be at 3,000 feet to intercept the ILS. And it should be a fairly straightforward approach to Köln. And approach, ILS 24. Yep, there it is. Alright, so we should also already be preparing. It's not going to be much time. And there we go. Switch those off. And in the meantime we can marvel at the orthographic German countryside. Alright, so I did forget to trim the aircraft for takeoff. I don't know what the original trim value was when we took off, but it was definitely not 2.3. Yeah, we get these trim settings from the pilot quick reference handbook supplied with the aircraft, and takeoff weight was 45,000 kilograms and CG was 13%, mean aerodynamic chord, so it should have been 1.4, 1.3 up, but anyway, we can go ahead and configure the landing speeds. We are still approaching the top of climb point, but anyway. So let's take a look at the, 1, 2, 3. The approach speed is going to be VREF plus wind correction, so I'm going to leave it off, and VAC 143 and VFS. Like I said, everything is in the quick reference handbook. 194, just have to get the approximate landing weight, which is in SimBrief, in the flight plan that SimBrief gave me. And then these are our landing speeds, and I'm going to leave the VAP alone for now, and then we are on our way. Configured for landing. Alright, we are descending towards the airport. We have to be down at 3000 feet, and during the approach I'm constantly getting these warning sounds. When the airplane enters into overspeed, then we have this clicking, or it could be the stick shaker, but there's nothing happening. And we have some warning here, A1 valve open, but I don't think it's something bad. Yeah, throughout the whole approach. I don't know what's happening, probably because this plane is not Vulcan compatible. Like I said at the beginning, version 1.4, I think it was updated in January 2020, so it has been a while until this plane, or since this plane received an update. But anyway, let's listen to the 80s and concentrate on the landing.
Wind 280 with variable 250 to 310. Visibility more than 10. Rain.
Lights are on.
Sky conditions 3,300.
And transition altitude is 5000. And not going to be much time. We are almost at the runway. Okay, let's try to slow down. We did put the final segment speed, I think it's, yeah, 198. There we go. And I think nav radios should be set automatically to the ILS frequency in this plane. And we are almost at 5000 feet. And set the local 80s 3012. And auto brakes not yet, since the gear is not down. Yeah, these sounds are really annoying. And let's slow down. Oh, we are pretty nose high, so let's fix some flaps. And I can see the runway up ahead. Here we have to be down at 3000 feet to intercept the glide slope. Actually, maybe we can do it already. It looks like we are on the glide slope. And these overspeed warnings or stick shaker, but everything is set, I think, normally. Or maybe I missed something. So here we go, landing, and we have quite a bit of wind, crosswind, 10 knots, but I'm not going to set the V approach speed, which is basically VREF plus wind correction, and auto brakes to low, sterile cockpit environment. I think they should have set it at 10,000 feet, but anyway, gears are down and flaps almost extended fully. I think flap 6 is the final setting. And according to these indications, we are right on the localizer and the glide slope. Now what I know. It looks like we are a bit high, so let's press the approach. Localizer live, but not the glide slope. Alright, let's maintain 145 for now. Oh, and now we're going really... Well, look at that attitude. So I think I'm going to take over at this point. Glide slope is still in the arm position, but it's not... Well, actually, we are a little bit above, so...
2500.
Oh boy. Autopilot off. This is not the most professional approach, but this is what happens when I haven't flown this plane in months and then try to do everything from memory. But anyway, I think we can bring this plane down. A little bit of a crosswind, so we have to stay crabbed to the right. gear down, flaps extended fully. And I have the throttle as well. So let's bring it in strictly visual. Beautiful landscape. By the way, I think this is one of the best freeware airports here in Xplane 11. The Köln airport, very nicely done.
1000.
And we are still above. We have 4 whites right there at the PAPI. Precision approach slope indicator. Or just precision approach indicator. I think the visual approach slope indicator is the other one.
400. 300.
Alright, we can bring it in.
200.
Looking much better now. And still this annoying clicking.
100.
I think we can manage to touch down in the touchdown zone.
40.
A little bit
30.
high though, but
20. 10.
here we go. Great landing. Minus 208, 13 FPM. Not too bad. Although my attitude was a little bit high. I think with the E-195, just like the 737, we have to be really careful with the attitude at landing because of the ground clearance of the engines and wheels. But anyway. Alright, let's get the flaps up. I think just like in Hamburg we have this smoke, or I think it's water because of wet one-way conditions. Actually, according to the weather report, it's a little bit rainy right now here in Germany. And landing lights off, taxi, and vacate the runway right here. So, I forgot a lot of things, but like I said, it's more like a refamiliarization flight, and this plane needs an update. But anyway, it's flyable, and I've had fun. Alright, I'm just going to go up there to the terminal park, and then let's take a look at the replay. Alright, here we go. Let's take a look at a parking position where we should stop. Let's switch off the lights. We don't want to blind anybody. And here we go. That looks great. Tomatensaft. There we go. And we also going to have some assistance with our parking. Those monitors are quite useful, so let's just go and park right here, right on the line. And we can start the APU. A little bit to the right. Well, looks like we are on the line, so just a little bit more. E-195. Not there yet, quite. And there we go. Amazing. Parking brakes. And APU should be up and running. Yep. No light there at the APU gen, so that means APU is available and also supplying power. So let's switch off the engines. Alright, so we have landed in one piece in Köln. Actually, I'm quite happy with that landing, although I did have a nose-high attitude. I think I previously flew an Airbus A319 from Tollis, and the Airbus has a much different ground clearance, and after flying an Airbus I tend to overflare other type of aircraft at landing. But anyway, we did not have a tail strike, although the approach also got screwed up a little bit, but anyway, we are here in Köln, so thank you for watching. If you want to know how to fly this SSG Embraer, then go back to my other video of the E-170. That was much better flying, but also I don't think it's fully compatible with 11.50 Vulcan at this point. Maybe there will be an update, or maybe it was just my own ineptitude. But anyway, I had fun and hoped you did too. And I see you in the next video.